these girls that are dressed up in this traditional clothing,
Yes.
are they part of the temple, or they're just here as
No.
tourists? Or
They're the tourists,
okay,
just like the regular tourists.
okay, but
No.
they want to dress like this.
Not for occasion, only for taking pictures
Okay,
in this place. Dressed like those concubine, like the empress.
so they are dressed like they were in the old days.
That's right.
Wow.
This is the ring spot, which is carved out of the shape of the dragon's head. But when it rings, the water will be coming out from the mouth of the dragon's head. So, which is a part of the drainage system in this area. This palace is called the Hall of Heavenly Purity, used as the living residence for the emperor in the Ming and early Qing dynasties, which is divided into three parts. The middle chamber, which used as the place where the emperor giving audiences to those ministers, officials. They spend most of their times in the middle chamber, and they're flanked by the two smaller chambers where there are 27 beds totally.
27 beds.
27 beds totally are arranged in those palace chambers. That's a good question. They have the underground heating system.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
Heating from the floor now.
that's correct. They have the like a fire flues or fire passage paved right underneath the floor, and then set up the fire underneath the floor, underneath the palace, so that the heating the heat will be traveling along those flues and heat up the room. They also have the warm hand warmer or the breezers for burning the charcoals in the past to keep the building warm in the past. Okay, that place is called the Department of the Respectful Affairs.
Okay.
That their main job was to manage those palace maids and eunuchs in the Forbidden City, and another job for them was to jot down or write down the emperor's intimate activities with those ladies.
To write down it.
Yeah, to write down the activities. In case of any ladies got pregnant, they can keep up the record when and what time exactly the emperor had that.
So they were keeping records of this.
That's right, because the emperor had so many ladies in the past.
To see that book.
Yeah, and
Let me ask you one thing. These eunuchs, they decide themselves that they wanted to become a eunuch, or they just told them that you are going to be a eunuch, we're going to chop your balls and you're going to work there?
both.
Both.
Yeah, when they were young, they were given to the palace, to those places where specialized in castration by their family voluntarily. Sometimes, like during the Ming Dynasty,
They castrated them when they were kids.
they were castrated, most of them, or especially in the Qing Dynasty. But during them back to the dynasty before the Qing, that was the Ming Dynasty. That was kind of a competitive job. Some adults, they have themselves castrated to work here, to work in the Forbidden City, and some of them are very powerful, and because they had unique access to the emperor and empress, they were very powerful and amassed a lot of money.
So very much of
So they made salary from being here. They were not forced to do it.
That's right.
so many of the men who was working in the Forbidden City was castrated.
That's right.
All of them.
All of them.
Just.
I mean, especially lived in the inner court. In the outer court, they have the cabinet, they have officials, they have officers down there. They are all the officials not castrated. But in this area, in this palace, there are many palaces and buildings in this area.
So only one not castrated.
Not only one, that was the emperor.
How many women?
It depends, really depends. From 100 to 10,000.
These castrated men, what were their line of work? Were they cooking food, or what were they doing?
They do all those manual work, laboring work.
All the manual.
Yeah, they can do the labor because the ladies cannot do those tough work or laboring work like what men do. So they need a man to do the laboring work. On the other hand, they have to make sure that those men cannot perform the with the ladies. So that's why they were castrated, and they were doing running errands and delivering the punishment, or they carrying the charcoal, the wood, the water, and they do all kind of laboring job.
So they got the monthly payment from doing this, and that supported their families.
That's correct. So that's the way for the family to step out of the poverty.
Okay, so send their kids here when they're young, hopefully get a job here with the emperor.
That's right.
Support the family.
That's right. look up the plaque over there, which reads like Qian Qinggong, the name of the building, the heart of heavenly purity. Reads in two kinds of languages, both Chinese and Manchurian, because those Qing emperors or Manchurian people, they have their own characters as well. Back to the Ming Dynasty, only one kind of writing. That was Chinese. In 1644, right in this palace, the last emperor,崇祯, who tried to summon all his ministers to come over and help him to fight those farmers, uprising army off. But nobody responded to him. He got so desperate, and he summoned his eunuch and asked the eunuch to escort his 3 boys out of the Forbidden City, and asked them disguised like the common civilians, and told them if there's any chance you need to come back and revive the great Ming Dynasty. And he asked his empress to commit suicide, and she did it and hung herself in the palace. That was the living residence for the empress, 1 palace away from here. And then this man, together with his eunuch, went up to the hill of located right behind the Forbidden City and committed suicide out there. So which marked at the end of the Ming Dynasty.